Would you do the reservation? Good evening. Calling the meeting to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ramona, you have a roll call, correct?
Correct,
And
and
I-
I did hear from Commissioner Petrie.
Okay, so I would like a motion from one of the commissioners to excuse Commissioner Petrie this evening, please. Commissioner Brady. Support. Motion was made by Commissioner Brady and seconded by Commissioner Glissman. Discussion? No. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah, yes, yes. Opposed? Would be no. Motion's carried. See, one meeting off and I gotta remember again. Okay, now for a motion to approve this evening's agenda, please. Commissioner Brady.
Motion to approve the agenda for October 21st, 2024.
Support.
Motion was made by Commissioner Brady and supported by Commissioner Glissman. Any discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, say no. That motion is carried. Same for the minutes.
So moved.
Do you want me to do it?
Support.
There we go. Motion was made by Commissioner Glissman and supported by Commissioner Swindell. Is there a discussion on that?
Just for clarification, your motion was to approve the minutes, correct?
Yes.
Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, say no. That motion is carried. All right, now it's time for our Lapeer County Commissioner Greg Hagedorn. What do you have for us tonight?
Greetings.
Greetings.
4 things tonight. At our last meeting, we passed our memorandum of understanding with MSU Extension for the 2025 year. That is $137,000. We passed the 2024 equalization report. We passed a $335,000 grant for community corrections. That is 100% state funded. And then we passed a $12,300 grant for emergency management, and that is 100% Fed funded. And obviously, this is a fun week, and I have a special message for Commissioner Atwood. Go green on Saturday.
Thank you very much. Okay, our consent agenda? Oh, wait a minute. Any other public comments? Karen?
I have those days too, believe me. I was just handed a prayer quote from Peter Marshall
I'm
that
sorry.
I'll end with, but I'd like to open up in prayer. I'm Karen Lackey.
Thank you.
I live on South Saginaw here in Lapeer. Okay, so let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for our city's governmental leaders. We ask you, Lord, for grace and wisdom for each one of our leaders to bring truth, unity, and stability to our city. Father, we ask that you would anoint each of them and rule with justice. May our community be known for its justice. Let it always prosper from the influence of good men and women. In Jesus' name, we ask and pray for your glory. Amen. And here's the prayer quote. Give to us, O Lord, clear vision that we may know where to stand and what to stand for. Because unless we stand for something, we shall fall for anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comments this evening?
Dave Clayford from Lapeer area. I was noticing, I just want to make a comment on the, some of the business of tonight. Number 5, amendment rules for the procedures of the city commission. Adopt an amendment to the rules and procedures of the city of Lapeer public participation at city commission meetings as presented. Not knowing what this is saying, I'm questioning myself what your thoughts are about people like myself. I've seen some things in the press about why should people not in the city come up and influence the commission or speak. Well, I have to stay in disagreement because I do have a right that's taken from the millages and given by state law to the DDA is money that Lapeer gets to enjoy. Beautification of our wonderful Lapeer that we get to enjoy. So I hope that you're not going to try to shut us down because we don't live in Lapeer that we pay into that comes to the DDA.
Go ahead, John.
Township. I agree with the addition. Us, something on this. In addition to that, Michigan Constitution, Article 1, Section 3, Assembly, Consultation, Instruction, and Petition. This would changes in this. I mean, really, you can't even do 3 minutes. I mean, I understand why you want to do 3 minutes, so people don't talk all day and make your meeting go farther than you want it to. But you all took an oath to the Michigan Constitution, and you may violate it by making changes. I don't know what changes you're thinking about making, but I would think long and hard before you do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hi, Jacob Leroy, Mayfield Township. I agree with John and Dave. I had the opportunity to briefly review the proposed changes, and I would just like the board during the discussions tonight to explain the intent behind these changes for us and the citizens watching. And then also there was one matter. It was members of a in the current reading of it, members of a subdivision or group affiliation can apply and get up to 10 minutes to speak during the public comments instead of normal 3, and that's being changed to a defined group. So I just was curious what a defined group is, if what qualifies or does not qualify as a defined group, and how the city's going to go ahead and manage that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we will move on then to our consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda for October 21st, 2024.
Support. Okay, motion was made by Commissioner Atwood and supported by Commissioner Swindell. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those not in favor say no. That motion is carried. To approve the consent agenda. Bill listing.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the bill listing for October 21st, 2024 in the amount of $1,929,653.05.
Support.
Motion was made by Commissioner Glissman and supported by Commissioner Atwood. Is there discussion on this, on the bill listing? Okay, all those in favor say yes.
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 Oh, yes, roll call.
Commissioner Atwood,
Yes.
Commissioner Brady,
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Swindell.
Yes.
Motion's carried. Okay. Now we have a proclamation for Thomas Woolley, who is retiring October 31st. We just came from a tour. He's unable to be here, but I'm going to read this for everybody. Thomas Woolley officially began his employment December 14th, 1988 as he was promoted to operator industrial surveillance in July 1994 and operator lab technician in August 2005, and to the wastewater treatment plant superintendent in July 2020. Tom was given conscientious, responsible, and professional citizens of the city of Lapeer and leaves those in the city of Lapeer proud to have known him and to have served with him. And whereas Tom will retire on October 31st, 2024, after more than 36 years of dedicated service to the city of Lapeer. Now therefore, let it be known that I, Mayor Debbie Marquardt, and the Lapeer City Commission wish to honor and express deep appreciation to Thomas Woolley for his efforts and devotion to public continued success in his retirement. Dated October 24, and somebody can reach out to Thomas to give him that. So now we need an official motion from the commission, please. Commissioner Brady.
Make a motion to adopt the proclamation in recognition of Thomas Woolley as presented.
Support.
Okay. Motion was made by Commissioner Brady and supported by Commissioner Glissman. Discussion. Other than congratulations, maybe Tom will watch this later. Okay, all those in favor, say
Yes.
aye. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Say no. Motion's carried. Okay, that brings us down to the administrative report. The first one is on Blight, to make some changes.
Madam Mayor, make a motion to adopt the amendment to Chapter 38, Blight, subsection 38.5, violations and penalties of the general ordinances of the city of Lapeer.
Motion was made by Commissioner Swindell and supported by Commissioner Brady. Is there discussion on this? Okay, all those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed, say no. That motion is carried. This is a ordinance amend for chapter 59 for business registration.
Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Brady.
I make a motion to adopt the amendment to Chapter 59, Business Registration, subsection 59-9, violations and penalties of the general ordinances of the city of Lapeer.
Support. Motion was made by Commissioner Brady and supported by Commissioner Swindell. Discussion. Okay, all those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Say no. That motion's carried. And then we have the Chapter 7 zoning request for 3301 Davis Road. Commissioner Brady.
Madam Mayor, make a motion to adopt the ordinance amendment to Chapter 7 zoning ordinance, Article 7, 0202A 38 of the general ordinances of the city of Lapeer.
Support.
Motion was made by Commissioner Brady and supported by Commissioner Glissman. Discussion. All those in,
I'm just happy to get them back to G2. Hopefully they do something.
correct. Very good. Okay, all those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? That motion's carried. And that would be for the old ice rink,
Yes.
Polar Palace. Next one is the Michigan State Housing Development Authority.
Madam Mayor, I move to adopt the resolution to allow the Housing Department to apply to the Michigan State Housing Development Authority for the Michigan Neighborhood Grant Application Round in the amount of $200,000.
Support.
Okay, motion was made by Commissioner Glissman and supported by Commissioner Swindell. Is there discussion on this? Okay, all those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed, say no. That motion is carried. Next one does have, is the rules and procedures of the city commissioner. And there was a whole packet of stuff that has been here forever.
Here, considering we've had two public comments, although neither of them seem to have read the policy,
You want to go over it a little
I
bit?
I would ask that the table the motion so the public is fully aware of what these proposed changes are. Obviously, the city attorney and I have worked through them. We think they meet all legal requirements and they're appropriate changes to be made. But one of the hallmarks, I think, of this government is that we are striving for increased transparency. This is not, I think it's important that we do so. So I guess table this to the next meeting.
Okay. You need to, no, I don't think that there was anything to do with, in here that I recall of changing the procedure of people coming up.
No,
Really?
of course.
They're still going to be allowed their 3 minutes.
Sure.
Just like,
There's still state law, and as a matter of fact, the one comment about changing from neighborhood affiliation to group affiliation, I think is better for the public compared to the old. But, again, I want people to be able to read these and understand them. I don't want there to be questions as though the city were trying to do something shady or underhanded.
Correct.
So I would strongly encourage people to read the policy before making public comment against the policy. But for that matter, I would recommend you table it.
Commissioner Brady?
I would just make a recommendation or maybe make aware that our agenda is posted online, and then also our entire packet is posted online. So,
Correct.
and the nice part about it is you can go to that top 2-page agenda, you can click, and it'll take you right down. If you're viewing it on the computer, it'll take you right down to that section. You don't have to read the 221-page document. You can literally pick and go right to the section that you want. And we have a page here that spells out in black and white the proposed changes, the rationale behind them, just for public awareness. I agree with you, Mike, that we want to be as transparent as we can. I feel like we're making every reasonable
Trying.
accommodation. You
Justly trying.
just have to get to it.
And certainly if people have other specific concerns about it, my office door is open. I'm happy to talk through them. We are striving for increased public transparency, certainly not trying to squelch any kind of public transparency to run a better government. So that's my recommendation. Somebody would like to make a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to
Commissioner
move that we table the resolution to allow Housing Department to apply to, I'm on the wrong one, to adopt the amendment to the rules of procedures of the city of Lapeer.
To table it,
To table,
To when?
Till we need a date.
Postpone it until,
the next meeting. Would that be a motion to the next meeting?
Yeah, that'll be November 4th. The day before your happy day.
Okay, so it'll be tabled till November 4th. The motion was made by Commissioner Guzman and supported by Commissioner Brady. Discussion? Okay, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Say no. That motion is carried. And then we have the Court Street Bridge mural.
I believe number 6, Madam Mayor.
Oh, yeah, the fraud, yeah. Policy.
So Madam Mayor, if I could, do you want to take a motion first or do you want me to talk first?
You can go ahead.
So I understand Commissioner Petrie came in and spoke with the finance director about this policy, and she had some concerns. One of which was to have some type of reporting. We keep saying hotline, but I'd be okay with email or something, because we do want people to be able to tell us if they identify fraud. That's obviously something we would do. Let's see here. There was also some concern about some of the generality language. For instance, let's see, breaking of some rules could result in formal action, I believe is one of the phrases. I think that's a little wishy-washy. I'd be okay with breaking of any rules could result in formal action, but it's fine as written. I don't know if the council wants to change that on the fly. I'd be okay. Let's see here. There was a question about whether detection of fraud would be acknowledged, and if so, how it would be done. As you guys know, I do my best to keep you informed about any type of thing that's going on that's very important. But you guys keep professional staff on hand to manage when things are being told to you and when things are not.
Right.
So I would hope that you would trust your staff to make a determination on that. Let's see here. And then some additional concerns about who decides when it is appropriate. And of course, again, your professional staff. While I report to and work for the city commission, I've got a bunch of staff who also work for me. And we are trying to run the most ethical government we possibly can. So I don't see any concerns there. So apart from that one little language change about breaking up some rules versus breaking up any rules, I think the policy is appropriate as presented. Ms. Hannah, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I do not.
Well, I would like a motion, so that we can at least discuss.
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner
what
Swindell.
section is that word so that we could make the motion?
This would be top of page 2, immediately before expected behavior. And like I said, I think it's okay as presented. It's a little wishy-washy, but I think as presented, it doesn't create any problems for enforcement.
So we'll just make the motion with,
Would you like to propose motion?
we'll just make the motion with that one under state of Michigan accounting sum to any.
So would the proposed motion be to adopt the policy for the city with the change of breaking up some rules could result in formal action, change to breaking of any rules could result in formal action? Is that your motion?
And support.
A motion was made by Commissioner Swindell and supported by Commissioner Brady. Is there discussion?
Can I just confirm that you're, Mr. Attorney, you're happy with the
Yes.
way that was?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Commissioner Wood.
so this is gonna be separate from a ethics policy or?
Well, so you and I have privately discussed an ethics policy, which I don't know if we have an ethics policy on point. Obviously, we have all sorts of rules and procedures, both for this commission and for the staff. But as part of our audit for each year, one of the first questions they always ask me, I'm sure they ask the finance director, is what do you do about fraud and embezzlement for the staff? And while those rules are spelled out in various different policies, we want to have a specific policy for fraud and embezzlement. So that's essentially what this policy is doing for staff. And for auditing purposes, we now have a policy that is specifically spelled out prohibiting it. It was already prohibited, but it's always nice to have stronger language.
So this is kind of a recommendation from the auditor or the audit company?
Yes. And I'm sure Ms. Ann would be yelling at you right now if it wasn't, so I'll take that.
Excuse me.
This isn't just a recommendation from the audit firm. The city participates with the Michigan Government Finance Officers Association, as well as the Michigan Municipal Treasurers Association. And both of those organizations, they work with finance directors and treasurers all over the state. And they strongly encourage this policy, in addition to other policies that I've brought to the board and that you'll see in the future. So these are recommended policies to have.
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Clifton.
I'll bring this up because I did get a phone call about this, and the person who called me is a resident of the city, and she was concerned that this would be redundant, and that there's already enough policies and laws on the books that we didn't need to do this. So I feel like I had to bring that up. Now, I did meet with Hannah also, and felt real comfortable after the meeting with her with the fraud policy as was written.
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Swindell.
I just want to say thank you for, once again, bringing the city up to standards that it perhaps was lacking the whole time we've been here. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, then all those in favor?
Yes.
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 Opposed? That motion's carried.
Madam Mayor, if I may. So the Court Street Bridge mural. So the city's Parks Department was approached by an artist who asked if she could paint some art on the Court Street Bridge. So I asked the artist to submit a kind of a rendering of what she was anticipating doing. I believe she offered to do it for free if the city were to purchase the paint itself. Now, I'm personally in favor of art. I work with the DDA to put up murals in downtown, but obviously the Court Street Bridge is a fairly new, fairly clean, pretty bridge. I didn't know if the commission felt that that type of public art would be in the best interest of the community. So I would recommend we do it. I believe the Parks Department would also recommend we do it, but this is more of a policy type decision for you guys to make.
My question, I guess, is this one, I know that our bridges are inspected after so many years and we have to make sure we're doing whatever to keep them safe, but this would not affect if we were to paint it, even though that's a new bridge in the last, 5 years or something?
Yeah, this would have absolutely no impact on the structural integrity or safety of the bridge.
I would question the policy about having an artist to come forward and say that they would do it for free as long as we would do the paint. I would rather see us publicize that we're looking for artists and submit your designs.
Technically. If you're wrong, we gotta have a motion before we can talk.
I know.
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Swindell.
I would make a motion to approve painting mural on the Court Street Bridge, authorize the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Cemetery to sign all necessary documents. Now we can talk.
Now I gotta have support.
Support.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Swindell and supported by Commissioner Atwood. Were you able to finish what you wanted to say, Commissioner Glisson?
Under the circumstances, I think that I would prefer to table this because I really think that we should look for a policy on this.
But there's a motion on the floor.
Yeah.
For,
Well, I gave my opinion. I felt like if the artist coming forward, and I'm not making comment whether I like it or not, I'm just saying in terms of policy, that once you set a precedent for anyone to come forward and say, well, I want to paint this, please just buy me the paint and do it, you've already set a precedent, and maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe you should say, we have a bridge, Court Street Bridge, and we're looking for interested who would like to submit their designs, and then we can look at them and perhaps choose, have it be a contest, I will preface this by saying my master's degree is in fine art and painting. And so I'm kind of precious about what we want to put up in the city. So that's just my opinion.
Commissioner Brady?
I'm a closet art snob, so I have opinions in a full rendering of it. I made comments. I prefer the what'd she call it? She called it
Geometric.
Geometric, thank you. I prefer the geometric one. I didn't mind the colors, but I think just the way that kind of carried my eye off to other places rather than the flowy one that said, look at this bridge. I'd rather see the ones that sends your eye off to look at the park behind, look at the area around it. So before I could really get on board, I kind of want to see the final draft before I say, let's buy the paint, go for it. I know she was under a time crunch. She wanted to get this done. And while today was beautiful, we're not going to have too many more days like that. And I don't want to rush into painting the bridge that, I don't know, maybe not today.
I have a question about the current policy. If someone wants to paint something, how is it done? Someone painted behind Chatfield, the tunnel that goes underneath the railroad tracks. Gorgeous. I'm sure it wasn't cheap or free. Is that, who approved and paid for that? What is the current policy for somebody that just wants to go paint a tunnel and get it paid for? I don't know what the current policy is, because that was done, I mean, it's beautiful. It looks awesome, I love it. I just wondered how it came to be in a city thing. What was the policy that was followed for that?
Mr. Tricio.
Yeah, so
Didn't we do some approving?
so that was a little bit different. That was approved through the capital improvement program. We paid a hefty price, it was about $12,000 for the 2 murals. Eric Schmidt in the Parks Department solicited bids, and he's the one that went out and recruited the artists. And, I'm not an art person, but from my understanding from talking with these artists that, they kind of, we gave them some ideas for that tunnel and they ran with it. We gave them the freedom to do that. And I know one of the comments that Sophia mentioned was she doesn't really have a final draft. It'll kind of be more like on the fly. This is like the idea she had in mind, but as far as like a rendering or what she was going to do, it was kind of more like she was going to use her artistic side and just kind of go with it with this general idea of what it might look like. But yeah, the other project was approved through the capital improvement program, and we went out and found the artists and gave them ideas on what we wanted. This was a little different. She approached us.
But there was no final, this is exactly what it's gonna look like when I'm done.
No,
It just,
correct.
here's the bids, cool, you win.
Yeah, we gave them like an idea on what we wanted it to look like and what features we want added, and they used their creativity, produced it.
So if I may, just one more. So to Mr. Brady's point, today was gorgeous, the rest of the week not so much. And I understand painting requires a certain temperature, which I think we've quickly approached. So we may be stuck waiting till spring anyways. So while I'm personally also a huge art snob, I'm in favor of art. I think the colorful, bringing attention to your community is a good thing ultimately. But for today's purposes, since we may not be painting until the spring anyways, it may be worthy of further consideration based on that reason alone.
I do think we have to have some idea of exactly what's gonna be painted. I get the artists,
Well, we did present the.
go with the flow, but
Yeah, we did present the commission with a couple of draft options.
yes, they were in the packet. Commissioner Brady.
I guess my question on that was, if we were to agree and give her permission to do something, what would that even be? Like, I would like to, now's the chance to talk about it and give that direction. She offered us two proposals. So if we were to move forward, I would want to know exactly what we're moving forward with.
Two.
She said the flowy one and the more geometric one.
Do we know how long that paint would kind of last for, or is there like a general?
A very vague, 5 to 10 years, just like
Longer than on the road.
it might last a little longer.
Way longer.
Yeah, I'm thinking over it.
So we did a mural in my former community that's now still 7 years later, and it looks like it was painted yesterday. So it can last quite a long time if you're not driving cars over it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem waiting for more defined. She might not be able to give us an exact, remedy cut.
Sorry, she may also not be available in the spring. So
That's true.
I think that we're at a time crunch, and I don't think that doesn't sound like you're quite ready to make that decision. So.
I guess, just to clarify, if we were to give very clear directions to her from here, then I think that would be okay. I just, it was pitched as two, and I don't want to give her permission to do whatever she wants. I dislike one version, I like the other version, so I don't know if that
We
needs
can
to
go
be
through and
amended.
we can go through and each commissioner can state which design you like. Do you want to do that? if we're gonna give direction today.
I think because of the weather, giving us a time limit, that we should just do a pause.
So whose motion was it? Arlena? So to be clean at this point, given the trepidation of the board, I think the cleanest way would be to remove your motion and then have a new motion to table. If that's something you're willing to do.
Who was the second on that again?
I'll remove my second.
I'll withdraw my motion. Motion's been withdrawn from Commissioner Swindell, and the support has been withdrawn from Commissioner Atwood.
But please let's not wait until spring to revisit. Let's get it done before spring.
Yeah, let's see if we can nail it down for the next one, and
Madam Clerk,
Maybe
do
she'll
you
be
need
on
to take a
board.
motion to table? Or are you comfortable with us just moving forward with no motion?
They withdrew it all, it's all gone.
Okay. So I guess Mr. Church and I will continue to work with the artists and see what else we can come up with.
Commissioner Brady, did you?
I was just gonna ask if we were gonna try to set a next point in time, or, I mean, we could approve it, and if the weather was good, she could do it, or it would still be around in the spring. The approval would still be there in the spring for it, or just to your point of, let's not wait until next winter to try to get it painted.
I don't see any reason why we couldn't have this brought back to you by your next meeting.
Okay. We brought back at the next meeting where you have more of a chance to review them. Then we have the right of way for encroachment for public sidewalks and sanitary sewer easement at wood chips.
So Madam Mayor, just to be clear, it is conditioned upon submission of a title commitment to the city. So I just want to make sure that the approved motion is as presented.
Commissioner Brady.
Motion to approve the right-of-way encroachment easement as presented.
Support.
Motion was made by Commissioner Brady and supported by Commissioner Atwood. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? That motion's carried. Then we have the storm and sanitary sewer easements.
So Madam Mayor, I just want to thank Ms. Postick for working with us on this. This could have been a sticky situation, but she worked with us on this, and I appreciate her.
Absolutely. Commissioner Brady.
I make a motion to approve the permanent storm sewer line. Ooh, I don't even know about that word.
Pertinence.
Appurtenance. Motion to approve the permanent storm sewer line and appurtenance easement agreement as presented.
Support.
The motion was made by Commissioner Brady and supported by Commissioner Atwood. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? That would be no.
Can I get a
All those in
definition
favor?
of appurtenance?
So that sounds like a city attorney word to me.
Yeah.
Think of along with,
Along with.
yeah, things that go along with.
Go along with.
So not a long with.
No, not long with, although perhaps.
It's not excluded by the definition.
No, exactly.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, that brings us to the city manager's report. Mr. Lomack, what
Thank
else
you.
do you have for us?
Oh, all sorts of things for you.
Okay.
So to go along with our theme for the evening of being publicly transparent, I present to you 6 proposed ordinances that would modify the city's marijuana ordinances, 4 of which are zoning, 2 of which are regulatory. Of course, this commission has seen these about a dozen times now, and we've made it available to the public almost as many times. So this should have a significant amount of public review and scrutiny at this point, but for timing purposes, we are required to send the zoning ordinances to the planning commission for their review and recommendation. I've already done that on your behalf. So they will be reviewing this in their meeting in November. So the timing question for you guys is, they'll be reviewing it on, I think, the 14th of November. They can then turn around and make a recommendation back to you. Your next meeting following that is the 18th. As you guys know, we put the agenda together about 7 days ahead of the meeting, so there's only about 4 days between those two meetings. Now, we can put it into your agenda and packet with the, I guess, belief that they will make a recommendation at the meeting on 14th. But we won't know what that is, and we'll have to orally report it to you. Now, I would recommend that be your course of action, because you also do not have to take action on it at that point if you don't want to. It would just be yet another public opportunity for people to review and make comment on it. But if you want to do a first reading of all the ordinances at that meeting on the 18th, you would then have the opportunity to pass into law these ordinances, I believe, December 2nd, which would be your second meeting following the planning commission meeting. Now, there is one more regularly scheduled meeting of the city commission in December, December something, 2 weeks after the 2nd. Let's go with the 16th.
It's the 3rd and 17th.
17th, not 16th?
I think the other one's the 3rd. I think it's the 3rd and the 17th.
Well, I bought that also, forgive me. Whatever the dates was officially, adopted, 12 months ago now. So we could push it off one additional meeting, but my recommendation would be that we hold that as a, I guess, if any changes need to be made date. Again, I feel very comfortable with these ordinances. The city attorneys and the city planner and I have worked a considerable amount on these ordinances. So that would be my recommendation as we proceed, as I've suggested. But obviously, this is all pre you guys discussing.
That information, you've sent all the ordinance and documents out to the commission, correct?
Yep.
So, if you haven't already had an opportunity to review, and come with your questions.
So these will go to the planning commission on their next meeting, and then we will come to you 4 days after that, and then you guys can make a determination at that time about how you want to proceed.
Okay.
All right, goals and objectives. We originally talked about potentially doing this in November or December, but I think probably the wiser course of action is to make this the first step in the budget for next year. So I would propose that we start doing this in January instead, and we'll make it the first step of the budget, which is kind of where it should be anyways. So we'll plan for that. We'll get you some dates. Parking lot number 5. If anybody's been out there today behind Choice One Bank, it's been paved and painted and it looks beautiful. I saw some kids out there on rollerblades with their bikes having a good time. Unfortunately, people are still parking down by the river in the old asphalt for some reason, but whatever. I guess they didn't want to park in the lines. Halloween lights. This is a fun one. So this is something I try to do in every community I go to. Halloween is the most dangerous time of the year for kids being hit by cars. So housing department, thank you, along with the police department and fire department, we're giving away flashing lights, reflective armbands, glow sticks, etc. Just gotta go down to the police department and get them for your kiddos.
When can they do that?
They're already over there. You can stop by anytime.
Anytime between now and Halloween?
Anytime. And I believe the police department and fire department also have some events they're going to that they will be handing them out if they have any left over. IT safety. So, we've been working on this for almost a year now with Vector, our IT company. And fortunately, I think we're a little bit further behind than we originally thought. So we're working to identify where our shortnesses and weaknesses are. And we'll have, a lot more work to do moving into the future, keeping all of our data and information safe. So I'm sure you'll hear back from me on that. And then finally, the 410 work schedule. This has been a positive experience both for the staff and for the citizens. At 7:30 in the morning, I see people lined up at the building department. And we have a number of people coming in between 5 and 5:30 for all sorts of reasons. So several of the unions have already voted in favor of this. And without objection, I would propose that we consider extending this indefinitely.
Do you need a motion?
I don't.
Writing that?
At least I don't think I do.
Just our consensus that,
Yeah, like input if you guys have any, but like I said, it's been overwhelmingly a positive experience so far for staff. I've heard very little complaints.
I have not heard of it. Does any commissioner have a question or comment?
I guess my question would be, how could somebody make a complaint if they wanted to or needed to? What would be the best way to to give you feedback if needed?
Yeah, sure. Just like any other complaints that I hear on a daily basis at the window over there, or by email, or by phone, or any staff person out and about in the streets. We try to be as accessible as we can. I understand it could be a little intimidating, come down to City Hall and talk to the man, but I have an open door policy, and my staff are very friendly folks. So we've had minor concerns, like somebody showed up on a Friday, they didn't know we were closed, and then they show up on Monday, and everything's fine. But we're happy to hear those concerns because ultimately we're not doing it for our staff, even though they, I think, have benefited from it. We're doing it to be more accessible to the public. That period between 7:30 and 9 and then 5 to 5:30 is really trying to capture the crowd that works at 9 to 5. And I think we've had, what was the story the other day? We had somebody from the post office come across the street here between 5 and 5:30. We were so thankful. We were hoping, because they worked till 5, right? So that's my 2 cents. I would like to consider doing it indefinitely. If things change in the future, we'll revert back or make modifications.
Very good.
And that's all I got.
Great.
The only complaints I've heard was on Fridays, they went to put their yard waste or whatever at DPW, but I talked to you about that.
Yep, so the DPW is going to revert back to a 5-day schedule for the winter. And we're doing that to reduce the number of overtime hours paid for snow plowing. So for the time being, that's not a problem. But we have already started working on a solution for the spring when they will likely revert back to a 410. And that's the type of thing I need to hear about because it's not something you immediately think about as being an issue. But certainly we don't want to reduce the services for the public. So if anyone has any thoughts, questions, or concerns, please contact myself or any staff person.
Just to that point, I had to do some cleanup in my yard this weekend, and if it would have been only until 3 o'clock, I wouldn't have been able to get out of work today and truck that stuff over there, but it was open until 4:30 today, so I was actually able to do it. So I know it wasn't Friday, but to me, I can't be there
That's a
before
big
3
difference
o'clock.
too.
Yeah.
We'll work around it. Figure out a
Work the
solution.
problem.
Yeah, we'll work the problem. Will somebody clean up by the yard then? Stu? No. Okay. Now for our city attorney's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I echo what the city manager said about the marijuana ordinance. There's a lot of time put into it, in particular by the city manager, and I think it comes out well. But for Commissioner Brady, the official definition of pertinence, that which belongs to something else, an adjunct, an appendage, something annexed to another thing, more worthy as principle, and which passes as incident to as a right of way.
That wasn't helpful at all.
Along with, together with, go there.
Okay. Anything else? I guess not. Okay. And the only thing that I am prepared for tonight, because I haven't contacted people, which was on the, I wasn't able to be here last meeting, the meeting before, for the Downtown Development Authority for Tammy Kutcher, Tamra. And she wants the position on the DDA. The DDA has voted that that's who that they would like, that was their recommendation. So I would need an emotion. Commissioner Brady.
Madam Mayor, make a motion to recommend, I'm sorry, I don't know her full name, Tamra Kutcher to the DDA.
Support. Okay, motion was made by Commissioner Brady and
Which term? There's 2 openings. One's January 25, one's January 28.
28, maybe.
To the 28th, the longer, because that other one is expiring
Yeah.
in mind.
2 months. So for the 28th.
To the 28th.
Any discussion regarding that?
I do. She,
Sure.
I believe she started out in the farmer's market and then worked her way into brick and mortar. Just wanted to throw that out.
Good point. Yeah. Okay, all those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Okay, there's the Board of Review, Prison Liaison Committee, Zoning Board of Appeals under the Commission, and Tifa Planning and County Center Building under mine. So, we'll go from there. Well, we're to public comments. Is there anybody else who'd like to make public comment at this time? Bernadette?
Bernadette Trees, City of Lapeer. I brought this up a while back and I'm just reminding or bringing it to your attention again. You brought up some things tonight and kind of left it like people could contact you if they wanted to talk about certain things. But the public has no information on contacting the commissioners available to them. And I'm wondering if that's something on your website that you would share, addresses or phone numbers or something like that. So
thought our
I
email,
know that the county commission does, and I just,
is our email on there? Yeah, our emails are on there.
emails are on there. Okay,
And contact staff if you can't find it, we'll
Yeah,
provide it to you.
okay.
and then they call us. If somebody's calling here, then we call them as well right away.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Dave?
Me again. I just want to say thank you on that discussion on that line 5. The information that you two give me, I wasn't aware that it was in detail online. I am now. We can look it up and look at some of the other stuff too. I want to say thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, then we'll move on to commissioner comments. Commissioner Brady, you're willing.
Good job, Mike, on getting that parking lot. That's been a long time coming. Thank you for your work on that. Thanks, DPW guys, and that's a win right there.
It's a huge win.
Yeah.
So bye. Commissioner Sodell.
Halloween is coming. There are so many events in the city before Halloween. The trunk or treat events at different churches, in the schools, in the downtown trunk or treat. Be extra vigilant. There are kids everywhere. It is the most dangerous holiday for kids. We set up on Lincoln Street, and every year I just sit at a corner where the house we hand out candy and shake my head. The amount of people that are not paying attention, the amount of kids that run out into the road not paying attention. And just right. And a reminder that ORVs and ATVs are not permitted in the city. Also, that's unfortunately who I see a lot of doing things against driving laws on Halloween night. That's it.
Commissioner Listman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, I want to say thank you to Kelly Hanna for putting up with me in her office as we discussed at length that fraud policy, and she's an expert at it, and I appreciate your time. Also, I want to thank Rodney Church for giving me the tour of the parks and seeing all the new asphalt that was put down for all the lanes. It looked really nice. I was very impressed, and I want to thank Rodney for that. Also, last Thursday, I attended the cemetery board meeting at Mount Hope. The new asphalt looks well done, and tree trimming was being accomplished while I was there. Rodney Church is obviously doing a great job in managing the cemetery as things are looking very good. I must give outstanding kudos to the cemetery board members. I'm extremely impressed by each of them. They show a commitment level of the highest caliber and a true desire to achieve the highest standards for Mount Hope Cemetery. If you have loved ones buried in Mount Hope, you need to thank Rodney Church, Eric Schmidt, Ryan Edwards, Jim Ross, Deborah Marquardt, Dana Jansen, Todd Alexander, and Marge Alexander. And special kudos to Marge Alexander for all her data input, photography, and record keeping. It was a mammoth undertaking, no pun intended, and she did a stellar job. I was amazed by the work that this woman has done, and she deserves a huge thank you. Also, I have some comments on behalf of Commissioner Petrie. As you have undoubtedly noticed, Commissioner Petrie is not at the meeting tonight. It is necessary for her to be with her daughter at this time. I spoke with Commissioner Petrie earlier today. Her daughter Kelsey is still hospitalized but is coming along. The absolute best news is that the baby is perfect and a joy for the entire family. Commissioner Petrie asked me to tell you that she is overwhelmed by the support, love, and prayers from the folks of Lapeer. She wants me to say how grateful she is for everyone and how proud she is to represent the good people of Lapeer. And don't forget to vote. That's it.
Commissioner Atwood.
Yeah, so I call it riding with a purpose, where I go on a bike ride and I go slow, and it's kind of the work I do outside of doing business here, to where I'm going through and looking at all the different projects we've done. I'm looking at different areas that may be dark or attract criminal activity, and I'm making the city manager aware of these type of situations to look into. Not only that, but I am out, I also have a golf cart and moped, so whenever I'm out, you can guarantee he gets a text or an email from me. He can probably attest I do it when I'm bored, which is probably more often than not. So that's kind of the MO I have. I do a lot outside of just sitting here and kind of behind the scenes, and I've kind of been doing that for the last 9 years. So that's what I do. When you see me out on a bike ride, unless I'm with my family, then I'm paying attention to them. That's typically what I'm out doing. And I did notice that we have done a lot. We've accomplished a lot of things this year as far as repaving. So I just want to thank the city staff again for getting some of these grants. A lot of the stuff has been in the pipeline for a while, but am I to the age where it's cool to sit back and see stuff that you've seen come from the, pipeline to fruition. I'm the old man.
Don't worry. I must be aging.
So I was just, sitting back and thinking of all the good stuff we have done, and the water tower park, now that we have those curb, I don't know what you call them, the turn, but the blocks there to kind of protect people that are walking, the curb stop.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was in the works, and I noticed that, so it was pretty cool. Other than that, it's just kind of business as normal, I guess.
You kind of stole my thunder a little bit, because I was going to thank you for all the texts you sent me. I just counted them, 18 texts this weekend.
Whoa, keeping them busy on the weekend.
But, one of the things I always say, and what my staff is annoyed by, I'm sure, is I can't fix problems I don't know about. So, I like hearing about problems. I like to fix problems if I'm able to. And I thank Josh for all the work he puts in above and beyond the sitting here, the vice presidency, and all the many, many other things he does for us. Staff, thank you very much. You guys have been great the last 2 weeks. Better than usual, if that's even possible. But my friend Linda Questman, today, October 21st, in 1805, Lord Horatio Nelson defeated the combined French and Spanish fleets at the Battle of Trafalgar.
And I've been to Trafalgar Square.
I have to, yes. And that's all I got, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good. Well, we still have a few fall events. I hope some people or organizations will start putting in some winter ones. Anyway, the Historic Farmers Market will continue from 9 to 3 p.m. To October 23rd. There's the Eastern Lapeer Farmers Market, Brave Souls. They're going to go to December 28th, 2024, and that's from 10 to 4 on Saturdays. And early in-person voting begins Saturday, October 22nd or 26th, and runs through Sunday, November 3rd, and that's from 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. here at City Hall for registered voters of the city of Lapeer. If you have your absentee ballots, get them in. If you want an absentee ballot, I'm sure that our city clerk will be happy to help you, and as also with any information you may need. So please vote, get out there, vote. Your vote counts. It's very important. So I too am thrilled, of course, with parking lot number 5. Happened to be driving by when they were striping it, so it was quite interesting. We've done a lot of wonderful projects in the last year and a half. We've always had a lot of wonderful projects, but it seems like we're doing a few more, that we've had the availability to do a few more. Maybe that's because of grants that we've had to be able to match it, to stretch those dollars going. So thank you for that. Thank you for the staff. We did a little tour tonight of our wastewater treatment plant. So we're kind of running in here, but it's quite, it's an interesting process. It really is an interesting process. And the smell wasn't bad. I actually sometimes thought it would be worse, but it wasn't too bad. So that is that. And so with that, with no further business being on our agenda, I close this evening's meeting.